best dancers from across the globe are about to join me for the audition of a lifetime.
ABC Mondays. Do they have what it takes to compete and be the next Dancing with the Stars pro?
I'm here to win.
Nothing is going to stop me.
Our star judges will decide.
This is what hunger looks like.
It was 100% a wrong choice.
Robert Irwin hosts.
The next era of ballroom starts right here on Dancing with the Stars, The Next Pro.
All new Mondays, 8, 7 Central on ABC, next day on Hulu.
This summer, Prime Video takes you back before Legally Blonde, before law school, and into the world of Elle Woods in high school. Set in 1995, this Gemini vegetarian knows exactly who she is until her family moves from Bel Air to Seattle. Packed with iconic fashion, 90s nostalgia, and a throwback soundtrack, Elle proves one thing. Law school was hard. High school was harder. From the world of Legally Blonde, watch Elle, a new original series only on Prime Video. Watch now.
This episode is brought to you by Google. Innovation is deeply ingrained in America, and Google is helping Americans innovate in ways both big and small. There are hundreds of thousands of skilled trades roles across the U.S. waiting to be filled. To help close this gap, Google is expanding its skilled trade support to help train more than 300,000 American workers across more than 20 states. This is a new era of American innovation. Learn more at grow.google/skilled trades.
So taste my life for my bread, spend my time lost in space. Am I dead? Oh, let the river flow through my calloused hands. Take me from my own, the eyes of the dead. Yeah, it makes my stomach churn. Oh, it tears my flesh from bone. Oh, it's time to drag the stone and we all die.
What's happening, everyone? Welcome back. It is Jay Scott, and it is the Hook Rocks, the ultimate rock community podcast. Thanks again for tuning in, and always appreciate when you stop by and give us a listen. Don't forget to write us a 5-star review or a review, and like us wherever you podcast, or like us on social media on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter at the Hook Rocks. And as part of Pantheon Pods, the official podcast platform of Metallica, we also are part of them too as well. We've been with them now for a few years, and you can check out a lot of different music-related podcasts on that platform. There's a lot of great different topics, a lot of different podcasts that are great for any music lover that's out there. So please check them out at pantheonpodcast.com, as well as on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Pantheon Pods. Also, don't forget to set your app to automatic download for the Hook Rocks so you get the latest episode right to your phone or right to your device so you can listen to the new episode and catch up on the episodes that you may have missed. We've had some great episodes here over the last year or so. We just celebrated our 500th episode with Dax Nielsen from Cheap Trick. We also celebrated our 4-year anniversary with Nita Strauss. We also had Nick Perry on recently, which did a tremendous interview, so check that out. We did a live album review of Motorhead's No Sleep Till Hammersmith, as well as some great music spotlights with the Foxies and Leilani Kilgore and Aaron Coburn. And don't forget our episodes with Rick Nielsen, Richie Kotzen, Kip Winger, George Lynch, and a plethora of others as well. Our new episode features a previous guest and one that I always enjoy talking to. He's got a great perspective on the music business. and he's one of the legendary voices of a period of time where music was all over the place. Rock music was all over the place, and on MTV or radio, talking about the MTV era and the rock music that was made in the 80s into the early 90s. And that's Miljenko from Steelheart. What's happening, man? How are you?
Hey, how's it going, brother? Thank you for having me. What's happening?
Well, a lot's happening here, but more importantly, what's happening with you? I know you've had some challenges and some health issues over the last several months, and you're getting better and stronger, and that's always good news to hear. But man, I mean, hearing about what you've been through is, man, that's I can't imagine.
Yeah, I would say it's life or God ass kicking. You know, I'm not sure. You know, I always say to everybody, you know, live your life to the fullest every day, because you don't know what's going to happen at any moment. It could change. Like, you know, in 1992, where it changed on me overnight, you know, with the lighting truss collapsing on me. And here it is exactly 28 years later. You know, it's like, here's a cycle again. I just went through something that was just unforeseen. And, yeah, it was just a fluke situation that, I don't know if for all you guys will know, but I had a little bit of surgery on my leg, and they didn't give me enough, after surgery, you know, you have trauma and all kinds of things. So you got to really careful of blood clots and stuff like that. And they didn't really give me enough blood thinners. They gave me just aspirin. And so what happened is that, I just started singing, or started rehearsing, like, you know, a month later. I was like, I'm good. I'm feeling good. Great. But what happened is I developed a little blood clot in my calf, and it broke off, and it traveled through my heart and pumped it into my brain, which was completely unforeseen. Something that the doctor says that's like winning 2 lottos for that to happen. And, you know, I guess I won 2 lottos. I'd rather win the lottos instead of that kind of lotto, you know?
Right.
But, it was intense. I really, honestly, I didn't think I was going to make it a couple of times. It was very heavy. I'm beyond blessed that, you know, that I am alive, that I have, what's the word? I didn't lose my mobility. I didn't lose my facial or anything like that, you know, my vocals, or, cause that's, you know, when you have, what happened is that it pumped it into my brain and gave me a stroke, and it was just unbelievable. I mean, nobody thought that would happen, you know. Luckily, I am in good shape. I always keep myself in good shape. And so that really helped my progress. I think it really helped for me not getting into something really, you know, I would say that I'm still here, you know. And long story short, what happened is that when it traveled, that we found it, then I have a PFO, which is called, and a lot of people have a PFO. 1 out of 4 in the world have a PFO. And what that is when you're born, everybody's born with a little hole in their heart. And then when they take their first breath, it gets closed up. But some, 1 out of 4 people don't get closed. And that's how that traveled through. So we needed to close that too. So literally within, I would say within a month and a half, I had the leg surgery. I had a stroke, and I had heart surgery. So now they put this piece of steel, metal, or titanium, which I have a serial number for, and they put it in your heart and they close it. And so ironically, now I truly am Steelheart. I mean, it's crazy. And, again, I will say this, I'm blessed and lucky to be here. I feel good. I feel strong. At the time, I'll be honest with you, I wasn't sure if I was going to get through it, but, here I am again. And how can I say this? I am beyond, appreciated and lucky to be alive. So you guys, I can say to you, please live your life, because you just don't know. I mean, the stupidest little thing can turn into something insane, you know? So, here I am, and we're back. We did the first show last week. I did with the band. We did it at the Rainbow Festival here in Los Angeles, the Rainbow Bar and Grill. They have this festival every year. It was fantastic. It was packed to the gills. And I had Robbie Krieger come up and do 3 songs with us, which was monumental considering, you know, the Sunset Strip, and the Doors created the Sunset Strip. So, it was felt really good to get back on stage, and now I got so many amazing things in the works, and here we go, nice and slow. Again, nice and slow, and here I am back in the saddle. So, thank you for having me.
Absolutely, man. I mean, it's just a amazing and unfortunate turn of events. You know, you will go in for what you think will be an easy surgery on your leg.
Yeah.
And, you know, here you are dealing with a situation that, whether, you know, I don't know whether it was just lack of, you know, doctor care or medical care, or they didn't, you know, someone, I don't know.
Maybe.
That's just
It's a little of everything. You just don't know. You know, it's also each person. Yeah, and each person is different, you know. And I'm a very active person. I'm a very, you know, working out and you know, eating right, all that stuff, you know. And you just don't know, you know. Just the doctors can. It is called practice. You know what I mean? And each doctor practices different medicine, different ways. You know, each has their own, whichever school they're brought up in. You know, I mean, went to. You know, they have different ways to how they approach each person. You know, the medicine, and this is what it was. It just wasn't enough, and I just you know, it's a very, very small little thing. I mean, the body is so strong, but it is so sensitive. I mean, it is beyond unbelievably crazy how sensitive it is. And I think there's a lot of stuff that they're not teaching us. I think that the people should know a lot more about certain things that everyone's oblivious to, you know. And I think it's important to get a little more knowledge of all of this stuff. There should be more out there, you know, little things like this. When you go to the doctor, he's like, "Oh, take care of this." I don't think people realize, like, take care. Don't eat that shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You don't know what's going to happen down the road. You just don't know. So, so I think I'm kind of an example of good thing I was taking care of myself, because I probably wouldn't have. No way. With the cholesterols and all that, I wouldn't have made it.
Yeah, you know, I mean, I've been there. You know, I mean, about 8 years ago, I got an infection in my foot that traveled up my leg.
Mm-hmm.
And I almost lost my leg. They actually marked before the surgery. They actually shaved my leg and took a marker and marked my leg above my knee, where they were going to take it off if the infection was bad. And they didn't, thankfully. But my doctor asked me if I drank or if I smoked, and I said no. And he said, "That's what saved your leg, by not doing that stuff, because your blood flow was great in your leg, and that's what saved it."
Wow, that is insane. Could you imagine? Anyone imagining it? Just imagine waking up and losing a part of your body.
Yeah.
I mean, of course, you know, you have to mentally focus and move on. You know, it is, you know, kind of thing. But the moment is just, it's so horrific, you know, and I don't wish it upon anyone. But it is a very harsh reality, because the thing is that I see is a lot of people don't realize is that they don't think it's going to happen to them. And until it does, until something jolts you, then you're sitting there going, "Oh shit, this is real." You know, life is such a beautiful, precious thing that the minute it gets somehow compromised, it will change everything. Your mental thought, it will it will take you through a roller coaster that you cannot even believe, that you do not want to be in. So, you know, gotta live, gotta have fun. Nothing wrong with a scotch and a beer.
Yes.
Or, I'm sorry, a scotch and a cigar. But yeah, there's scotch and a beer too. You know, I love a good scotch and I love a good cigar. But once in a while, you know, so it's all in moderation.
Yeah.
But anyway, on a good note, I made it through. I'm beyond blessed and happy. And yeah, so here we are. Let's
Well, I guess
bring joy to the conversation. And
yeah, I mean, it's amazing. You know, what's amazing is, because you touched on it, the mental focus, right? And knowing what that takes to kind of like, you know, reset your mind and be like, all right, what's done is done. I have to move forward. I have to keep pushing forward. And you mentioned in the beginning that, you know, this was nearly fatal, and, you know, you didn't know what your recovery was going to be like. How did you regain that mental focus within yourself?
it was mostly just being peaceful with myself, and the meditation, and also kind of feeling my whole body, what is going on, what's happening, you know, what happened, and just being calm and patient is all I could possibly do. That's all you can do. You know, you can meditate. Definitely keep that. The stress is the most important, to keep that stress down and not to, you know, boil the blood, so to speak, like I would say. And then it just kind of, it's like almost like being in a courtroom, you know, waiting for the judge to give you a verdict. You know what I mean? Where are you going? What's going on? And I just did an immediate, you know, pause and just try to focus on myself and try to see where I'm at, why I'm here, you know, and not really try to look at the future, just try to understand where I'm at. And that helped me a lot. And, you know, I'm still a little bit not fully out of the woods, but I definitely am good. And I think in October we'll see where I want to go back for reevaluation. But the brain is good. That's all taken care of, and we did that. But now it's just make sure all the blood's good and stuff like that. But it is really a world of making peace with yourself and where you're at, and really come to peace with it, because you can kick, punch, and scream. That'll make it only worse, you know. So
it's amazing how your mind, after something like this happens, how it changes your perspective. At least, you know, from my experience, and it sounds like the same with you, how you process things different and you learn what to be stressed about and what not to be stressed about, right? I mean, I learned through my issue that I don't stress out or worry about things that have already happened or that I know that are going to happen. I worry about my response to them more so than the actual event now. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Right. No, I understand. Yeah, it's you know, look, it's a big job being a human being. I always say that. It's a big job. We've created things so difficult. I mean, it is, you know, the status, where you live, what car you drive, how much money you have, do you have enough money to survive, how are you going to retire? I mean, it is stressful as shit, you know, and we created it, you know. You know, so many times I'm like, oh man, let me just sell off what I got and go into an island and just get a little mealy Rita bar, you know, make margaritas and some burgers, and that's it. You know what I mean? And but I mean, that's what it is, and that's where the, you know, the blood cooks. Like I said, you cook that blood, stresses the cooker, and it just builds and builds and builds until something breaks. And it's just not what we want, but it's what we've created. So how do we deal with it? That's the most important. And I think the most important is waking up and taking a minute and really, first of all, just be grateful that you opened your eyes again, and take a moment and just take a quiet moment, even 5-10 minutes, a quiet moment. Even if you don't know how to meditate, just take that second, calm the soul, and start the day. And if you can do that periodically throughout the day, it's really important too. And I'm not perfect at it. I'll promise you that. I'm not. But I do definitely try hard to make that happen, because it does help, and it does make a difference. So I recommend it.
Getting back on stage is therapy in itself for you. And, after going through this, this had to be an important milestone for you, of something that you've done hundreds of times before, thousands of times before, get on stage and perform and sing. But after something like this happens, there's still the unknown. Obviously the breathing part of singing and the stamina of singing, is something that I think is not really known by music fans, or not appreciated by music fans, about how you really have to keep yourself in shape in order to belt out, especially with your range that you have. Getting back on stage, especially at this gig at the Rainbow, what was that like for you? How did that feel?
I felt good. I felt good. What I did is I started, right away working out slowly, very, very lightly. I couldn't, because the doctor told me, look, don't, can I work out? Because you can work out, but don't go do Arnold Schwarzenegger stuff. That's what the exact words he said to me. Don't be pumping serious iron or stuff like that. Nice and easy, because you can't get that heart going too hard, because what happens is like any foreign object is put in your body, it has to heal, and it has to, what's the word? It has to accept that piece into your body. It's very, very intricate if you think about it, And so to me, I just knew that I needed to work out slowly and just, keep the metabolism, keep the energy flowing, the blood flowing, the muscles not to just get stiff, stretch. And then I started rehearsing. I rehearsed by myself in my studio with the backing tracks with the band. And little by little, just you rehearse maybe a few songs one day, and then wait a couple of days and I sing 6 songs. Wait a couple of days and then I sing 10 songs, nice and easy, all easy, not screaming too hard, not pushing too hard. And then as I, developed slowly, building, then I started hitting the higher notes, and doing that, I had somebody close by just in case, because, I don't know exactly what you said. You don't know what's going to happen, you start screaming these major notes, you pop something and boom, you're out, So, that's what I did. Just gently worked it. And now just little by little getting stronger. And then, when I got on stage, it felt good. It was pretty effortless, the way I love to perform, when everything is just easy, not difficult to perform, So it's working nice and easy. I'm not going to get cocky about it. You know what I mean? I'm still building, but we have shows coming up now. I'm working in a studio, and one step at a time. But now I feel I have an opportunity to not only see myself in a better light, but I also have the opportunity to make myself even stronger than it was before. So
it's almost
take this all as a
it's almost like it's like you performing is like the gauge of where you're at in recovery, almost, right? You know, I mean, it's like you said, you started out with a few songs, rehearsals, now you're on stage, and it's almost like you're utilizing that as like, am I back to normal? How close am I to being normal? All those things. And I think that's a wonderful gift in itself, that you have the ability to do that. Because a lot of times when people have a major health issue, they don't know if they're getting better. They feel like, well, maybe I'm doing everything the doctors tells me to do, and I hope it is. And then you go back to the doctor every month or whatever the visit is, and then they tell you whether or not. But you actually have an outlet that kind of takes you, you know, or helps you learn where you're going and how you're recovering.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it is a gauge. I mean, look, all of us have this gauge inside of us, and we all know, when something's wrong with you. You can feel it. Okay. You can feel it. You can feel where something's off. You know, you don't know what it is, but something's off. So that's why I would, you know, before I would get after this incident, I would be really dizzy all the time, you know, and it took me a moment. So it's like every time I would walk, I'm going, what am I feeling? Am I feeling dizzy? Am I feeling blurry? Okay, I'm good. All right, nice and easy. Keep going. You know, it always kind of put a check in yourself. So it's just time. But you know, it's also, I feel sometimes life, you know, has a different plan for you. You know, it's like you think you're going one way, and then, you know, life has a whole different plan for you, going a whole nother way. And that's happened to me several times. But I think it's also really important to slow down. And sometimes when people, I do listen to my inner self. However, that doesn't mean it's always perfect. You know, for all you guys out there, when you're working too much, and you know you're working too much, well, you know what? You're working too much, and it will catch up to you. And I don't know, maybe this one was another thing for me to slow down a bit too, because we've been working really intensely lately on this. The Steelheart has been, we did so much this year and last year. And so, you know, this kind of life gives you a slap in the face with a wet fish. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, here's what we got. Let's try this a different way. So I'm going to take this as a nice sign for myself. I can share it with other people. Hopefully I can say some good words that can help. And time to grow to a new level. So I'm excited, first of all, for, you know, being here still, but I'm excited for the things that I feel I'm going to create from all of this as well. So, and make sure we have fun doing it.
Yeah, absolutely. And you have things to celebrate as well. I mean, you've got the shows coming up. Obviously, you're in the midst of this anniversary celebration of that iconic Steelheart album. And you also now, I think you mentioned this in our previous interview, that you did the soundtrack for an independent film that I believe premiered last night in LA.
Yeah, last night. I will be posting a lot of stuff from last night. We did a movie, so the song Trust and Love that I wrote for the world. I don't know if you guys who heard it was, and I sang it in 10 languages. We released 5 so far. And so what happened is that I knew this director, and he was looking for some music. And when he heard the song, he just went crazy about it, fell in love with it. And he said, I love the song, got to have it. But not only that, they changed the name of the movie to Trust and Love, the title of the song. So last night was premiere. It's been, I think it's in I want to say over 20 film festivals. It has won a lot of festivals. It's an independent film that it's a happy-go-lucky thing. It's just, I don't know, people are liking it. So I hope it really, you know, touches the heart of the millions when it comes out. Last night was great. We had we had we had Andy Garcia come, we had Sugar Ray Leonard come, we had Robbie Krieger come, bunch of different directors and producers. It was a great night. It was a wonderful night. And yeah, let's see where this goes. Exciting, you know?
That has to be really exciting too. I mean, the song that you created more or less was the inspiration of the title of the film. And, you know, being part of that has to be pretty special. And it has to taste a lot sweeter too, being what you've gone through over the last several months. You know, to have that low point, and now you're having a high feel good moment that, let's face it, after going through this, you deserve this probably more than anybody.
Oh, I could definitely use a little love from God. But then again, wait a minute, I got it. You know, I'm still here. So, but yeah, no, I agree. I mean, it's there's a lot of things going on, and of course, everything takes time to develop and create. But having the opportunities is extremely important. And this one is really is great. I mean, we did a movie. The whole band was in the movie. I have 6 songs, the Steelheart songs that are in the movie, and including Trust and Love as the theme song. And I also played as a producer in this movie too. I did a lot of work helped put together the movie, and it's been an amazing journey, and it looks like there's a lot more to come. There's other opportunities, other offers, and fingers crossed, you know, let's make movies, let's make music, and let's live life. Let's enjoy ourselves. That's the plan.
You know, you were obviously involved with the movie Rockstar with the fictitious band Steel Dragon in the movie. And that was probably your first taste of Hollywood. And now you have this too as well. What's the biggest difference between that world and the world you know, which is music?
Well, I mean, it's kind of the same. It's just different characters. You know, one is geared into making movies, and the other one's geared into just making music. So it's like one you see and the other one you don't, kind of thing. But in movies, you combine both of them together. You know, you have the music and the visuals. So where the music, you create the music, you listen to it, but then you make videos, you know, to kind of show the picture of the song, so to speak. And but it's just, it's different characters, different people, but at the end of the day, it's just the same. You know, it's entertainment. It's everybody working together to create something. You know, what I love about movies is it takes hundreds of people to be organized to create and bring a movie home. I do like that. That excites me. You know, I love making records. But with records, you can make records with one person, 2 people, whatever, you know, and kind of just piece it together. But with movies, you can't. You need a huge team to make that happen, and it's exciting to watch.
You spoke before in our previous conversation about the world of music now and how there's so many and too many different outlets for your music. It's almost like the listener, the fan, doesn't know where to go because it could be so overwhelming and intimidating for not just the music fan, but also for the artist, for, you know, directing enough attention to a certain platform or whatever to get their music out. As far as movies go, it still seems, I guess, again, I know more about music than I do about movies. It still seems like there is a infrastructure of how.
And we're live from the living room as Doug eyes up the match day spread. He's reaching for the buffalo wing. Perfect. Hang on, what's this? Oh, he's gone for a can of Pepsi too. Incredible. What a finish. Sensational combination. Look at the delight on his face. There's no doubt about it. It just tastes better. Match days deserve Pepsi. Food deserves Pepsi. Grab a pack of Pepsi Zero Sugar for today's match. It's poetry in motion.
This summer, serve up the Cookout Classics, Heinz Ketchup, and Kraft Singles. Every good burger needs a layer of perfectly melty cheese and thick, rich ketchup. We all know it's not a cookout without Heinz and Kraft.
A movie is made, how it's created, then how it's distributed and pushed out and promoted. Whereas especially with rock music, there's no handbook anymore, right? There's no infrastructure of, get your song here, this outlet will push it out, and then all this stuff will follow. That doesn't exist anymore. That has to be, unless I'm wrong, that has to be kind of comforting to kind of dive into that world where there is more structure on how to promote and how to get a movie out versus what music is right now.
Yeah, I mean, the movie industry is starting to get their taste of pain in that side as well. There's a lot of content out there, and there's, the biggest distributors, or should I say the visuals would be Netflix. So you got Prime, you got Apple, Amazon, right? Amazon Prime. I mean, those are the big, Paramount, and those are the avenues, and it's like the in music business, right? You have the avenues. You have Spotify, you have Pandora, you have Amazon, it's the same, kind of group of people who control, I guess, almost like the gatekeepers to the world, and you can do stuff yourself. You can absolutely do yourself. You can create your own channels, YouTubes and all that stuff. But it is beyond complicated to break through to the listener, to the person that you want to reach. And you're right. It is so, what's the word? I mean, there's just too much out there. It's too much. And I feel, and this is, and no disrespect to anyone who wants to make music. I encourage everyone to make music or movies because it is a stress release. I encourage everyone to sing, even if you suck. I don't care. It's still, to me, it's still a beauty to my ears, believe it or not. Even if someone doesn't have the natural, voice of singing, but someone who's singing from the heart, whether it's in the shower or whatever it is, it's beautiful because it's stress release. And guys, I'm going to tell you, please don't give a shit what anybody thinks when you're singing. Who cares? This is for you, But what happens is that when you're creating this stuff and this stuff is, let's say, everyone can upload to Spotify. I don't know if that's the smartest thing because maybe there should be two separate, pieces. People who have worked all their lives in creating music should be one kind of Spotify avenue that you get uploaded. And then there's the novice, that wants to, hey, I want to get into this and things where people can find a new talent, you know what I mean? And start that way. But putting it all in one big goulash, I'm telling you, I myself, we have a huge team. We have a lot of marketing. We do a lot of work. We spend a ton of money. And we've made a lot of progress. But I got to tell you, if this was back in 1980s or in the 90s, it would be like insane. We would reach insane amount of people, But now it's very difficult to reach those same amount of people, and you're spending a ton of money to reach those people. It's a difficult one, a lot of gatekeepers. That's what is what's the word, concerning, and to keep it going, to sustain it all. It's a very difficult for artists today especially up and coming artists, who are talented as shit, who belong there, who are messengers, who have vision for us, who have answers for us. That's what true artists are, and they get burned out because they have to be producers, they have to be the writers, they have to be social media gurus, they have to be videographers, directors. That's what you got to be today in order to be an artist. That's too much. It's too much. Too much. An artist needs to be taken care of like a little Buddha. This is their job. This is what they do. This is their contribution to this world. And let's take this Buddha, let's nurture him and give his message or her message to the world. And then, create that beautiful cycle. But it has to be a team, has to be a family. Not like it used to be. We'd take the Buddhas and we'll steal everything from them again, Where the artists are always getting the shit end of the stick here. You know what I mean? No matter how you slice it, it's like, oh, they found out another way to take the money from us. Come on. The artist life deserves to live and deserves to make a dollar in this business. And it's become very, very challenging. It's long, long hours. And what it is with us artists, we have this fire because we made a deal with the spirits, with the gods, with ourselves. It chooses us, and then we say yes or no. And when you say yes, that's it. That's what you're doing. When you can try to quit, it's not going to happen. You'll always come back. And that's where a true artist is. So it would be nice to see if this can turn around and really, a little more love to the artist. I really would love to see that.
Yeah, my biggest thing, and I think I mentioned to you this before, is the lack of infrastructure rock music in general has. When you look at country music has the radio stations across the country, the outlets with their own channel, country music channel. They've got their own award show. They cross promote between legacy artists and new artists. There is a purpose for why they do things. Pop music and hip hop have their infrastructure. They have the publications that promote their music. They have the huge social media presence that allows them to do that. For whatever reason, rock music for decades was riding high, and it was the music of choice for everybody or almost everybody. And then all of a sudden, after the grunge movement, with whether you like it or not, is not important in this discussion, but it's just after that grunge movement, it became like very cookie cutter, and it almost became like the industry itself decided to do away with rock music, even though it was popular in the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, and the first part of the 90s. It just seemed like, yeah, we're just gonna get rid of this. We're just gonna dismiss it because the gatekeepers, as you spoke of, don't like it, or whatever the case is. And since then, it just doesn't seem to have an outlet for new music. Everything on radio is classic rock that plays the same 50 songs every day over and over again. There's no, there's stuff on Sirius XM, but Sirius XM has such a small audience compared to what rock radio used to be. MTV decided to stop playing videos. That affected music in general, but really impacted rock music. There's just no place for it to go. So like you said, these artists, these up and coming artists, or artists like yourself, are left to their own devices of trying to promote themselves. And I don't know if anyone's really figured out the secret formula on how to do it, because everything is very fragmented, overwhelming. And like you said, an artist today has to be a creator of music, has to produce it, has to write it, has to distribute it, has to book the tours, has to be the social media presence, has to create content on TikTok, which, I'm sure every artist will tell me off the record they hate TikTok. They can't stand it. But they're trapped in this never-ending cycle. And then you've got the algorithms on these YouTubes and streaming services that even if you do produce kick-ass music that's awesome, the algorithm that goes out to the listener throttles that discovery. So you get in the same loop of the same stuff over and over and over again, and nothing new. You have to go search for it. And it's just, that's the big thing. Someone needs to step up and create an infrastructure for rock music that everyone can follow and everyone can go into.
It is, I mean, it is scary. Okay. At this point, it's run by a whole different machine. Okay. And look, people, artists would say, hey, I'm free. I own my material. I can do this. I can do that. And it's like, okay, well, you know what? That sounds great, but good luck penetrating through the machine, because it's true. The algorithms, it's so, how would I say, the AI world, when you're releasing an album, you don't release an album anymore. Because if you release an album in 3 weeks, you might as well forget it. It's gone. It's never been heard again. Okay. So you got to do like singles, and you do singles every 7 to 11 weeks, every time you put a single. And with every single, you want to put a video to. So it creates these algorithms, as you said. Exactly. And then the machine, here Steelheart's going to put another song out and another video out. And that's what we did in the last album. We put out 7 or 8, I believe. And it is a lot of work. This is what I'm saying. The artist loses the vision of being the artist. Now it's like, oh, wait a minute, I got to do a TikTok thing. Everyone thinks that, doing a TikTok little video or an Instagram video is a simple thing. It is not a simple thing. You got to do a good presentation. You got to look right so you don't look like a butthole, and you got to say something nice so you don't offend people, so you can be honest, so you can look honest. It takes a rhythm. It takes time to learn how to do it. It takes time to post. It takes time to post to the right words. And not only that, you gotta pay for it in order to be seen. Okay, you could put your post on without boosting it, without paying extra money to get it out there. Nothing happens. So everything is about money again. And it comes about money taking from the artist. So it is a difficult situation that we are in now. I almost feel it's like, wow, I'd be like, let's everybody, all the artists pull their songs off of everything, off all the streaming platforms. Could you imagine if we pulled all our songs off? You know what? They'd be in a big pickle. You know what I'm saying? They'd have to make some serious changes in order to get all the music back. Without music, I feel the river of life is gone. We need music. Music keeps us going in everything, whether it's peaceful, calms us, whether it makes us, working out, whether we're dancing, whether we're partying. Music is the pinnacle of the river of our lives. That's what I see. Okay. However, what I do know also is that, labels own a lot of the masters to a lot of the music. So the artist can't just say, okay, take my music off. Because I'm sure there may be a strike of the musician strike. Like now we have the actors strike. Everybody's like, hey, how do we all get paid? Why, and fair enough. So it is a complicated situation. And I think we're going to need a change at some point. Because as I said before, even if you have 1 billion streams, 1 billion, I think that adds up to maybe, I don't know, $300,000, which could you imagine selling 1 billion records? We're having something tangible in your hand. So it's everything has changed. And back in the day, we would make a record. You find a label thinks you got something going, and they work with you. They make a record. They put the press release out. Here's a new band. Here you guys go. They put you out there and see what the world thinks. And if they really believe in you, they invest more money into you. They put you on the road, and little by little, people like the songs. They get on the radio, and boom, things happen. Now, there's just a million ways. Yes, something crazy can happen. Let's say, something goes viral. Great. Well, I hope you guys are prepared when it goes viral to keep that up, because what do you got after that? To keep that energy going it's like 10 minutes is viral, and 10 minutes later, nobody even knows who you are, because they're already off to something else. There's too much, because everybody's doing these TikTok things. I'm watching the amount of work people do to create a TikTok video. For what? To get some views? I'm not sure. What does that mean for everybody? Do they make money? Do they get a salary from that? I'm like confused on that. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. So all these platforms are great, but how do you reach the masses, and how do you reach the people that you connect with your music and your art? That's where it gets complicated. It's not easy. I live it, and I consider myself at the top, and I still feel I have a long way to go. So I'm not trying to discourage anyone, because I will say this: if you love music, I don't care what happens out there, you will be making music, and you need to make music, because that is who you are. Okay? But just be prepared that it's an ass kicking, and it's a lot of work to be heard, to be seen, to be recognized in today's world.
In essence, the more technology takes control of the art form, we get farther and farther away of what the true art is, because the human emotion evaporates, and human emotion is what creates art. And when people are doing things not for the art, but for the algorithm or for the views or the listens, the vision gets distorted. And we're seeing it right before our eyes, especially now with AI and Chat GPT. You can go on this program and you can tell the AI the song, the type of song you want to write, the influences you want to hear in the song, and what the song is about, and it can formulate a song. Well, I guess that's fine if you're a kid and you're 12 years old and you're kind of tinkering around with the computer and trying to just see what this does and what that does. But when you're an artist and you're stuck utilizing something like that, you're not an artist anymore, right? You're a slave to a program. You're a slave to technology. And that's what my worry is. Someone that loves all art forms, especially music, is that when we go down this road, there usually isn't a way to turn around and go back, because you get seduced by it. And again, what suffers in the end is what true art is: human emotion.
Yeah. You know what maybe could be a good idea is that there could be separation. You have the AI, if you're like songs that are created by AI, and then the songs that are created by human, not mix the both. Because, some people, if they are mixing the both, what you're going to do is you create the song, you hear the song, and then you relearn it, and you rewrite it, and you make it yours. You know what I mean? More human emotion, should I say. But look, the one thing I will say is that one of the beautiful things I will say of today's world is that I feel we get to witness evolution. I mean, we're with our eyes, we are evolving. Everything's evolving, and AI is here. It's not going to go away. That a lot of people that I've been talking to, a lot of people I work with, I mean, they are going full on with this, and it's going to excel quickly, and the reality is we got to accept where we're at. We can fight it again, kick, punch, and scream, but it's where it's going. So we can accept what evolution is taking us, but we also can never forget who we are and where we come from. That's the important thing. So, in one way, it's exciting. In another way, it's scary as shit because we can lose ourselves in this whole thing. And maybe that's where it's all taking us, because technology is, it is exploding. It's like, now they also, you can write a script. What kind of script you want? You want this, and then boom, it spits out a whole script. And it's pretty damn good. So, yeah, man. I think we all need to take a pause and have a scotch and a cigar and look around. What the hell's going on? You know what I mean? And slow it down for a second, because life is on fast speed right now. A lot going on. So I hope everyone's ready.
And what's going on for you is you're ready to get back on stage and do some shows with Steelheart coming up here. Obviously, like we talked about with, being able to sing after your health situation, this is a, milestone for you. But, now that you've gone through what you've gone through and now are ready to take it to the road and do some shows, what's that like for you now as you gear up for this?
Well, it's exciting. It's exciting to first just, get out of Los Angeles for a second. It's exciting to, there's nothing more beautiful when I finish a show and we do the meet and greets afterwards, and so many people come back and say hello, and and you get so many beautiful comments and from the fans, and they become almost friends at this point, and it's nice to reconnect with everyone. It's nice to be on stage and see the faces that when I look out and I see I could feel their energy. It gives me strength. It gives me a purpose to feel that I'm doing something right. This is where I belong. This is what I do. It's a good feeling, not just for me, but I believe also for the audience, and, yeah, I'm really excited to do as many shows, because there's nothing better than a live performance. Live performance is where it's at. At the end of the day, you can create anything you want, or AI, or whatever you want to do. But when you get out there and you got that microphone on and the song starts, well, that's a whole nother conversation. As long as you don't have all the music, the playback playing, and you're doing it live, that's real. That's you can't fake that. So, and that is a good feeling when you're able to do it and you're practiced for it and you're prepared for it. It's what we do. This is what we do. This is the beauty of an artist. I perform in front of 100,000 people. I performed in front of 5 people, and it's all the same. It's all the same, being able to connect with the soul, with the hearts. And it's like cooking almost, what I do. I love cooking, when you put the right ingredients and then people can taste the food. It's like they can feel the passion of you, and you give something beautiful to them. And it's a circulation of just constant energy flowing between the two and making everyone feel good. So, and I went a little bit on a tangent there, but bottom line is performing live is a gift, and making music is a gift. I just wish that, we could figure out a little more of what's going on with the technological side of how we get our music heard more. And by the way, you mentioned something with the rock world, and everybody has infrastructure. I think the rock world could use a little bit of a facelift, maybe. I think everyone's a little tired. That's what I see, because we had such a huge run from all those decades. And yes, when the grunge came in, it was very odd because I lived it. They just, all of a sudden, the labels, they just switched their mind. It's like, okay, you guys suck now. We're going to go with this. It's like, whoa. It was really like, it was almost like, how would I say, being cheated on, you know what I mean, in front of your face, so to speak. But rock will never die. It'll keep going, and it will resurrect, and it will find its way into another avenue. That I'm sure of. But we have to always kind of reinvent ourselves a little bit. So, yeah, I hope I answered the question.
Absolutely. As we wind down our discussion here, you obviously have the tour dates coming up here towards the end of the year, or finishing up the year. I can't believe we've got 3.5 months left of 2023. But what's in store for next year? Is there anything that you can talk about that you're involved with or you're going to be doing in the new year?
Yeah, absolutely. I have, I don't know if you guys know, I do a whole EDM project that I have that we've been releasing songs. We released 2 songs so far. It's called Vox Eternal. It's the voice of eternity. And we released a remix of We All Die Young, which is a dark house. I do love, that style of music as well. And we also did Love Me 2 Times by The Doors. So definitely check it out. We're just going to keep releasing that. We're going to have, we have some more Steelheart songs that we're going to release. And also working on another project, which is a little bit of a top secret situation, which I'm excited about. It's something really interesting. Soon I'll be able to talk more about that one. And also there's 2 movies that are in possibilities in the conversation right now, which can be really, really cool. So this is for next year. So there's a lot in motion. So exciting times.
All of Steelheart's information on the tour, on the anniversary edition of their debut album, will be in the show notes on this episode. So please check that out. Mealy, it's been a great conversation as always. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you very much for your candidness. And I always appreciate it.
Well, thank you for having me. I appreciate you having me, brother. So I hope everyone out there enjoyed the conversation, and love to all.
All right, everyone. That's another episode of The Hook Rocks. I'm Jay Scott. Thank you very much for tuning in, and we will talk soon. Stay safe, everyone. Take care of each other, and thank you.
Hey, it's Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. Now, I was looking for fun ways to tell you that Mint's offer of unlimited premium wireless for $15 a month is back. So I thought it would be fun if we made $15 bills. But it turns out that's very illegal. So there goes my big idea for the commercial. Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3 months, $90 for 6 months, or $180 for 12-month plan required. $15 per month equivalent. Taxes and fees extra. Initial plan term only. Greater than 50 gigabytes may slow when network is busy. See terms.